big hey now to you.
Hey now.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Scott Fox After 9. Brand new pod ready to go. This is an all-listener DMs edition, and I'm going to bring in the great Anna Almeida to do those. Hi, Anna. How you doing?
Hey, I'm excited for today's DMs.
There's a lot of them. Yeah. Wow. We're going to get to those coming up. But before we do, a couple of quick things. Number one, happy Friday.
Yes.
National Donut Day today is one of my favorites.
It's a tasty one. This is one that I'm okay with. Let's just go to different donut shops and enjoy.
Today, we have a couple of things that we got to cover before the listener DMs. First and foremost, the one that people have been messaging me about nonstop for the last 24 hours. What the hell is going on between Donald Trump and Elon Musk?
I know. I'm invested. When he stepped out of the party or working with Trump, I was like, oh, interesting. But now they're full on having a feud, it sounds like. I mean,
are they?
To me, that's what it looks like. Or they're presenting it that way. You know, he's finding old tweets. He's even saying, Elon Musk is even saying, hey, Trump, you wouldn't have won if not for me.
That, I think, is the one that's going to really stick for Trump. He does not want to hear that anybody else is responsible for his successes. So Elon trying to take credit for that, that's going to drive Trump crazy.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who feel they're in on it together.
I could see it. I mean, it wouldn't be the craziest thing to hear come out of the White House at this point. So.
You know, I sometimes feel like the White House has hired WWE-style writers for all the different things that are going on because they're so good at creating a distraction.
Well, Linda McMahon is part of his administration, and she's married to Vince McMahon, who was the former owner of WWE.
Huh. They're not still married, are they?
They are, yeah.
Really?
Even with his allegations of sexual misconduct and everything.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, hey, I'm not going to say it's impossible. These guys are great at storylines, but it does seem legit. Saying that the reason the Epstein files have not been released is because Donald Trump is in them. I think that's interesting, but I don't think it's saying what people think it's saying.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of very well-connected individuals, Hollywood elites, former politicians, former presidents, congressmen, senators, probably Supreme Court justices that went to Epstein Island and did horrible things. Mm-hmm. But not everybody did stuff with kids. And I feel like that is where people are going to draw a line in the sand.
Yeah.
You know, it's entirely possible that Trump is in the Epstein files but didn't do anything, or maybe he did do something. Either way, now that it's on the table, we got to see these damn Epstein files. Stop screwing around. That's part of the reason that Trump got elected. He said he would release the Epstein files. Let's go.
I want to see who's on it, and I want, repercussions. I want to see what's going to happen next.
I couldn't agree with you more. We need swift repercussions. In fact, once those Epstein files drop, I want FBI raids.
Yes.
And I'll pick out some random names.
Please.
Let's say, for example, Bill Clinton, former president of the United States. Let's say that he is not just on the list. It's known that he was doing stuff with underage people. Arrest the former president on live television. Remember when they raided Mar-a-Lago because Donald Trump kept a few documents from the White House for posterity? Yeah, the same thing. Do it to the Clintons. Arrest them on live television. Let America see justice in action and tell everybody that nobody is above the law.
And did you see that he was taking questions from reporters as he was walking into a function, Bill Clinton, former president? And anyways, somebody addressed that and if he had any connection to Epstein. And he laughed it off and then just kept walking, brushed it off
There's Canadians on that list.
Oh, I believe Mike Myers. That's what I've heard.
The Mike Myers thing is
weird.
An interesting one because they're saying he was a CIA asset. And that was more to do with the Diddy situation than Epstein, as far as we know so far.
Yeah.
However, I don't quite... How did Mark Carney have a CIA agent endorsing his campaign? How did that happen? What's the connection there?
Oh, it's sticky.
Was Carney on those lists? Because he rolled in the same circles. He was hanging out with royalty.
He was.
There are pictures of him and Ghislaine Maxwell. Some of them are fake, but some of them are real. Is Carney on that? And then what happens? I actually believed it when I found out that Donald Trump really wanted Mark Carney to win the election and they were stalling releasing the Epstein files. I honestly thought that it's because Carney is in there and Trump doesn't want to be accused of election interference. Well, the election has happened.
Wow.
Release the damn files. And hey, listen, if Carney's not in there, okay, he's not in there. If Trudeau's not in there, okay, he's not in there. Let's find out who is, though. We have a right to know at this point, and I think everybody has an interest in knowing who is in those Epstein files. Last night, I was watching Anderson Cooper 360. Ooh. I wanted to watch some American news, and I was quickly reminded of why I don't watch CNN anymore. I hope that nobody does. It is so biased and so spun. Anderson at one point laughed, and he said, the so-called fake Epstein files and fake flight logs and... Really, what? Anderson? Because I have a lot of reason to believe that you are somehow going to be implicated in that.
It's just, yeah. I don't like it when they make those sort of judgment calls live on air.
Well, it's not a judgment call for him to make. What do you mean so-called Epstein files? There are Epstein files.
There are. Like, we need to see them. Get them out. I want to know. We deserve to know. We've been invested. I mean, come on now.
Well, it's a matter of right and wrong.
Absolutely.
And nobody is above the law. And if you used your position of power to try and exploit and sexualize children, you got to go. You got to go to jail. Now, I don't want this to be all about the Epstein files. The Trump and Elon thing is what it is. I don't know if it's going to keep blowing up or if they're just going to make amends. I know that both of them still very much believe in the MAGA movement. Elon just doesn't like Trump's big, beautiful bill.
Yeah.
Back here in Canada, police arrested 36 men and laid 128 charges province-wide in Ontario for a child exploitation probe. 36 men, 128 charges, and of those 36 men, 33 of them are already on bail.
33 out of 36.
Our system is broken, Anna.
Disgusting. That makes me ill and angry. That should not be allowed. Are you kidding me?
No. This is the society we live in.
I can't. This is what so much is wrong with that. Everything's wrong with that. Not so much, everything.
Yesterday in Toronto, report of a sexual assault and a violent one. A woman just walking in a park area, dragged into the bushes and sexually assaulted. Anna, if this was anywhere else but Toronto or anywhere else but Canada, our Foreign Affairs Department would issue a travel advisory saying use extreme caution when traveling to Toronto because of political protests and because of rampant violence and open drug use. How long until other countries start warning their citizens? You might not want to go to Toronto because it is a lawless city.
I'm surprised it hasn't really. I mean, to be honest, even that messaging was circulating within my friends. Be careful if you're taking the dog out for a walk. Make sure you have some spray on you or this and that. And it's like, I can't even go for a walk anymore. And these clowns are out on bail walking around. Well, it just pisses me off.
It's interesting that you said you'd like to have a spray or something for self-defense on you. You could actually be charged for that.
Oh, my gosh. See, that's how it's broken.
This is the broken system because nobody cares that the criminals are all rolling around with guns and knives and such. If you get caught with bear spray or something just for your own personal self-defense, you'll be charged for that because you're not allowed to carry around a weapon to defend yourself.
That's outrageous.
Isn't it completely ridiculous?
It's outrageous, and I don't care. It's not going to stop me. I'd rather know and have peace of mind than ever be in a situation where I can't properly defend myself. Sorry, take me.
One more thing I would like to play for you. One of the Liberal ministers in Parliament, this happened yesterday. Andrew Lawton is a Conservative member of Parliament, and he believes that law-abiding Canadians should not be a target of the Carney government's bid to ban the guns and to take guns away from people. So yesterday, he got a chance to ask the new Justice Minister a little bit about how much this Justice Minister knows about how our guns are administered here in Canada. Anna, this is so cringy. Listen to the question and the follow-up.
Vice Chair, does the Minister know what an RPAL is?
No, Minister.
I do not.
Member.
Does the Minister know what the CFSC is?
I'm a Minister.
I do not, no.
Member.
I'll stipulate, Chair, that is the Canadian firearm safety course that all gun owners in Canada have to do to get their firearms license. Has the Minister ever done the Canadian firearm safety course?
The Honourable Minister.
Speaker, it's my third week on the job. No, I have not.
The Honourable Member.
Does the Minister know what safety classes and safety demands are expected of law-abiding Canadian gun owners?
The Honourable Minister.
This is not about law-abiding gun owners, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member.
How can the Minister make that claim when he doesn't know the basic fundamentals of law-abiding gun ownership in this country, Chair? Vice Chair, does the
Hey, he's absolutely right.
Yes.
RPAL, by the way, is the Restricted Possession and Acquisition License. An RPAL is what would allow you to own a handgun. Extremely hard to get. The Canadian Firearms Safety Course I've taken because I'm a firearms owner. Every Canadian who lawfully has a gun had to take that course. They had to have the mandatory cooling off period. They had to be interviewed by their local police department. They had to pay money to be certified and prove that they can safely handle and store a gun. There's absolutely no reason for the government to be targeting law-abiding citizens. It's crazy that they're going to go ahead with this take people's guns thing when the person in charge doesn't even know the name of the damn course that all these Canadians took.
But Scott, remember, he's only 3 weeks into the job.
He knows very well what's going on in that department. Very
give me
well.
a break.
The other one I want to play for you is also from the House of Commons, Conservative member Michelle Rempel-Garner questioning the immigration minister with a very simple question. Why did you bring 500,000 more people to this country when we don't have room for them or the ability to care for them? Listen to this exchange. This is very telling.
Liberals promised to cap foreign study permits, which also allow people to work in Canada. But new data shows that the Liberals blew their cap out of the water by handing out a whopping 500,000 foreign study permits last year, roughly the same population as all of Halifax. Why did the Liberals bring 500,000 foreign students to Canada during a massive housing shortage and while youth in Canada can't find jobs?
The Honourable Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for that question. Those figures are inaccurate. It's misinformation. This new government is hard at work to improve our immigration system, and the introduction of Bill C-2 Tuesday was an example of that. We are taking significant steps to preserve the integrity of our system while also upholding our humanitarian commitments, because we understand a well-managed immigration system is essential to a safer, stronger Canada.
The Honourable Member for Calgary-Nose Hill.
So I got those numbers from the minister's website. I went on the website and I read them.
Wow.
So in the middle of a housing crisis, she brought 500,000 people to Canada. These people compete with Canadians for jobs, require housing and healthcare. If her department's numbers aren't the real numbers, what are the real numbers?
Oh, drop that mic.
But you know, Anna, it's funny because I have been doing my level best to give Prime Minister Carney a little bit of runway to do what he wants to do as Prime Minister. He's not Justin Trudeau, and he proves that every single day. But he's still got all these Trudeau area people here. But this new immigration minister is not a Trudeau pick. That's one of Carney himself's picks. Now, Justin Trudeau, that was his playbook. When a question got asked that was uncomfortable, accuse the Conservatives of misinformation and disinformation. So that's what this chick here did.
Yeah.
And the Conservatives called her out. That's right off your own website. Like, stop doing that and just be honest with people. They can't help themselves. So I think since Prime Minister Carney is so hell-bent on proving that he's not Justin Trudeau, he should fire that minister. A week into her mandate, he should fire her for playing those dirty political games that are intended to confuse low-information voters, that are intended to confuse people who are only casually paying attention. She was the one spreading mis and disinformation. She was the one misleading the House of Commons there. The Conservatives were spot on. And the question still isn't answered.
No, it's not.
Why did you bring 500,000 more people here when you knew we didn't have the capacity to absorb them?
Yeah, she sounded very ill-prepared and caught off guard, can I say, and went to a rule book or playbook that has not impressed people in the past. It was an epic fail, but it's true. She didn't answer. I'm an immigrant, and I think, being welcome to Canada is an amazing gift. However, it's only an amazing gift when everybody can thrive, and that's not the case. We're almost, if not even there, there's going to be a breakdown to the society that we're headed in, a recession. That's the word I was trying to find. We're there. Give me a break.
The updated jobs numbers are not out yet, but they are coming out today. And there's a lot of reason to think these job numbers are going to be abysmal, with unemployment now officially up over 7%, even though we all know it's a lot worse than that. And it's going to get a lot worse. Anyway, those are just a couple of things that I wanted to play for you because I think that they're worth highlighting. I highlight the good, and yes, I will highlight the bad. Yesterday, not a good day for the government. But let's have some fun here on a Friday. I like to do listener DMs. You can ask anything you want on a Friday, and I will do my best to answer your question. Anna is here to read the questions. Let's do listener DMs.
All right, Mike, he DM'd and said, "Hey, Scott, Saturday, I had to travel from Cambridge to Markham. I left at 6, and it took over 2 hours on the 401. No construction, no accidents, just volume. On the way home, I decided to bite the bullet and take the 407 home from Markham to Milton. It took me just over a half hour, and I wasn't even speeding that much, and there was no one on the 407. So I'm all about buying it back and making it free, but if that can't happen, wouldn't it make sense to reduce the toll so more people can use it? They'd probably make way more money if more people used it and reduce the toll. Love the pod. Anna's a great addition. Thanks."
Thank you. What was the name there?
Mike.
Mike, it's true. He went from Milton to Markham.
Yeah.
That's not a far drive. You just heard him say on the 407 when there was no traffic, half an hour is all that took.
That's wild.
But it took him 2 hours to get there. And that trip home on the 407, probably depending on whether it was a weekday or a weekend, and if it was prime time or off peak, probably cost him $50. $50 is worth it to save an hour and a half, but it's still not right. I really think that we need to buy back the 407. I don't know why this government won't do anything about it. We need to buy it back, Doug Ford. Buy back the 407. And there's going to be a massive cost to that because we gave them a sweetheart deal and screwed ourselves in the process. Apparently, we have no ability to control the tolls. Imagine that. You know, I like Mike Harris. He used to be the premier back in the 90s, and it was under his watch that we sold the 407, or at least the 407. And I'm learning here that apparently it was the world's worst deal. I don't know who the lawyers at Queen's Park were back then, but they should be fired. We should get their money back, because if we sold it or leased it with no ability to control the tolls, they can just raise them as high as they want, then we had a terrible deal. If we leased it to them with no ability to get out of the lease for 99 years, then we screwed ourselves again. Listen, we need to buy it back, and if they don't want to sell it, screw them. It doesn't matter what they want. We're taking it back. We're going to annex it. It's ours. So we're just going to have to do that and let the courts figure out how much we have to pay for it if they don't want to sell it amicably. Once we get it back, I'm okay with low toll. It doesn't need to be no toll, but it needs to be reasonable. I've said it a number of times. You can drive from Buffalo to the Massachusetts border on the I-90 in New York. It'll cost you $20 for that 5-hour drive. The 407 will cost you $70 to $80 Canadian for a 1-hour drive. That is obnoxious. It's predatory, and it's really making a mess of people's lives. Mm-hmm. Nobody should have to choose between a $60, $70 bill or missing their kid's softball game. Nobody should have to do that. We have a wide open highway just north of the very cramped 401. Make the tolls attainable. And again, if that company doesn't want to sell it, then we're going to take it. We're just going to take it. I want somebody with balls at Queen's Park to kick down the door of the 407 and say, "You're closing down. We're taking it over. And if you don't like it, we'll see you in court. But either way, we're shutting the power off to those toll machines."
Here, here.
There we go.
That's what I like.
Fired up today, Anna.
I'm here for it, Scott. And actually, this next message is from Scott to you, Scott. He asked today how you were feeling about reporting on tariffs. So your thoughts. So please keep it up. He loves it. It's the only place I feel like I can get accurate information in regards to tariff status. Your reporting is thorough, accurate, and unbiased. I support Doug Ford's reciprocal tariffs, but if Carney is telling the truth, it's prudent to wait a bit. Okay. I have trouble believing Carney, though, and feel he lies almost as much as JT. Thank you. Big thanks to you and Anna for the great pod and entertainment.
Great. I appreciate that. And information being accurate is something I strive to do all the time, Scott. Thank you for noticing that. I pride myself on that I put as much effort as I do into making sure that I get it right. When it comes to tariffs, I don't know who's right. I honestly don't know. For a while there, I thought we were on the right track, and I disagreed with Doug Ford when he said dollar for dollar matching tariffs. I didn't think that was a good idea. But Doug actually made a lot of progress in dealing with the U.S. I mean, he's part of the reason that we didn't feel the full brunt of the tariffs as they were going to come in. But now Carney is saying, well, I'm working on a deal here. Apparently him and Trump talk at night. They've been texting.
Wow.
They're close to a deal. They're going to announce it next week, right before the G7 in Alberta. It's in Canada this year. And I think that if we do the dollar for dollar matching tariffs right now, there's a very good chance it's just going to piss Trump off. He's probably trying to bait us with something like that right now. So is this where Doug's strategy would work or not work. I don't know, but I am going to trust the prime minister. He seems to have a handle on this. It's the opposite of what he said he would do during the campaign. The complete opposite. Elbows are firmly down. We are capitulating at every turn. But maybe that's what it's going to take to get a deal done. And all I want is a deal done before anybody else loses their job.
Yeah, well said. Martin, he texted, he DM'd. Hello, Scott, longtime listener, love the podcast. Also love listening to the morning show. Just to touch on the tariffs, I don't think we should stop talking about them. It's affecting almost everyone, so I think we need to stay up to date. I am a machinist, so steel is my bread and butter. It's really killing my industry. A lot of small shops are closing, and if this continues, a lot of big shops will also fall. I am worried about my job. P.S. Love listening to Anna also. Oh, thanks. So that's from Martin to you.
I'm worried too, Martin. I'm worried. I mean, one of the biggest areas that our radio show broadcasts to is Hamilton. Mm-hmm. You know, we've got two major markets here. We've got Kitchener-Waterloo and we've got Hamilton. And the Hamilton area is just getting rocked by these tariffs. It's not fair. It's not right. The fact that Trump can do this with no notice, basically in violation of the trade agreements we already have. I'm sure it will get sorted out eventually, but that's not going to stop people from losing their job now. I would also really like, though, if you are in the steel and aluminum industry, I know that right now you probably could use the excuse of tariffs to lay off a whole bunch of people that you just don't want around anymore. And I truly hope you don't do that. I really hope you don't. People need their jobs. They need a little bit of stability. They're not getting any support from our government or from the Bank of Canada, so the job is all they got. Please do everything you can to keep these people employed. And I know that there is brighter skies on the horizon. We've just got to get through this patch.
Yeah. Oof. All right. Rob here says, here's an alternate thought on Olivia Chow's rant about Pride funding. I would say 90% or so of the population have zero clue that June is also Men's Mental Health Month. Men make up 50% of the population and 80% of the suicides. Let's have less pride being ramped down our throats every June and a little more balance and shift some attention to this cause as well. As a note, my immediate family has been directly affected by suicide twice, both of them men. That's from Rob.
I hate hearing stories like that. And I know people are struggling, Anna. And you know what? People don't want to talk about it because when it comes to financial struggles in particular, they don't. Mm-hmm. But you've got a couple of choices. You can lose your home. You can go to illicit drugs, which unfortunately many people have. And those will get chalked up as drug deaths, not suicides. But let's call a spade here. There are people committing suicide, and it's horrible that that happens. There's resources out there to try and help, but it can't really help the core problem, which is money. Money is a massive problem, and I don't know that our government understands that people have got to get their finances back. They have to. Mm-hmm. And that'll solve a lot of problems if people have money. This crime problem we have is a direct result of poverty. That's what it is. And we haven't addressed any of the root causes. I hate hearing that about guys taking their own lives, about anybody taking their own lives. But Rob, since you brought it up, let me point it out too. June is Men's Mental Health Month. Nobody's flying a flag for that. Why? Great that we have Pride. I have zero problem with Pride, by the way. I think Pride in Toronto is incredibly uninclusive. I think it does more to repel families than it does to draw them in. And I think people have had enough of the BS at a Pride Toronto. I don't blame people for not wanting to support Pride Toronto because they're way too they're way too intertwined with radical extremist groups. And I don't want to be any part of that. And I know there's a lot of other people that don't and won't be going to the parade this year because it's just gotten too ridiculous over the years. And that's not a shot at the 2S LGBTQ plus community. It's just a shot at the fact that the Pride weekend that they have in Toronto that they celebrate every year is just getting too out of control. When it comes to men's mental health, why isn't it put on the same pedestal that Pride is? This is something we should be focused on. Now, granted, one is sad and one is intended to be happy, understood, but there still needs to be a little bit of balance. And where's Olivia Chow talking about men's mental health? Any city officials, they're all falling all over themselves trying to paint rainbows on sidewalks. When are they going to talk about men's mental health? Local politicians. I haven't heard Carney say a word about it. I don't think I've heard Doug Ford say a word about it either. Maybe they should move it out of June so it's not overshadowed by Pride. Or maybe we should all just keep it top of mind. I really think that men can be a real part of the solution here for other men. Guys, it is totally okay to phone your buddy just to check in. How you doing? And you know what? You got to recognize when your friends are going through something too. You know, it's real easy to say, hey, you want to go out for some beers? And they say, no, not tonight. It's real easy to razz them. Come on. You know how it goes. Guy talk.
Yep.
Maybe ask why. Is it that they can't afford it? Mm-hmm. Is it that they're just depressed? And when you're depressed, it's real hard to get yourself motivated to do anything. Those are warning signs. And I think guys need to be a little bit better at picking up on those things because we can support each other a lot more than we do. This month is supposed to put the spotlight on that. And the spotlight, unfortunately, is being shone in a couple of different directions. Rob, that's a great reminder. Thank you for allowing me a chance to talk about it here on the pod.
Oh, thank you so much. This next one from Anonymous. Hey, Scott, due to a recent measles outbreak, public health is in at least one Ontario community has mandated that all school staff must show proof of two documented doses of the measles vaccine. This also includes a school in southwestern Ontario. Here's the issue. Many of these staff members are originally from other parts of Canada or the world. While most did receive the vaccine as children, their records have been lost or the names of the vaccinations they receive are no longer recognized here. Some are willing to take blood tests to prove their immunity, but public health has said that's not enough. So without documented proof, they're being told to either get another shot or stay home without pay. These are not who are anti-vaccine. These people are not anti-vaccine. They're just asking a fair question. Why isn't a blood test good enough? Would love to hear your thoughts on this matter.
I think that public health should be disbanded. All of them, every single one of them. We have the Ministry of Health. They can handle this. We don't need to take a doctor out of practice in every single municipality in this country and make them the chief medical officer and pay them an outrageous salary to do very, very little work. When it comes to the measles outbreak, let me say this again. I hope that everybody considers getting vaccinated. I think that the MMR is probably fairly safe. I had it, and that's not to say it's safe just because I had it, but I think that it's been around long enough and tested and so on and so forth. I am very curious to see what happens with the testing they're doing in America, but for now, I think the MMR is safe. I also think public health should F all the way off. You people, I'm going to say it. You people in public health are disgusting. Trying to mandate people to put something in their body is absolutely communist.
Yeah.
Stop that nonsense right now. People don't have to have the measles shot. They don't. And you know what? If you don't have a record of their immunity and they say to you, well, I am immune, I did have the shot, and I'll even give you a blood test to prove it. That should be more than enough. You guys are trying to force more vaccines into people's arms, and people have had enough. We went through COVID. We saw the crap you guys did. We've had enough, and we're not doing it again. And that's coming from someone who is vaccinated and did get the COVID shot as well. No more are we doing this with public health. I think that everybody should rebel. If your local public health unit says you need another measles shot, let them fire you. Let them suspend you without pay and sue them to high heaven. And don't just sue public health. Sue that individual doctor. Sue them all. Everybody. Get a lawyer. Get ready. Lawyer up. Bring the courts to their knees because there are so many lawsuits over this. It's the only way to get around it and to fight back against authoritarianism. Nobody can tell you what to do with your body. Nobody. Full stop. Public health has got to back off because they're trying this with education workers right now. And I know that people are going to call them out on it. They're just not going to do it. And then we won't have any teachers or administrators in the schools because nobody's going to do this. Don't let them force you to get something you're not comfortable getting. Informed consent is the law. You need to be informed and give consent. Both of them.
All right, David, quick question for you from the show. I heard boomers, Freeland, and so many other people talk about their fear of nukes. I get it, but that is the 1940s tech. We're almost 100 years past that, and I don't get why no one is afraid of any other kind of weapons. Why nuke somewhere and wreck the land/planet? I'm sure tech has advanced, but everyone uses the nuke fear. Nuclear.
Oh, we were talking about nuclear possibilities. When Ukraine used that drone attack on Russia, people are afraid. If Russia retaliates, maybe they'll use the nukes. Like they were looking for it seemed like they were looking for an excuse to do it. Why are people afraid of nukes? Because of the mass destruction they can do with just one. You don't just need You just need to put it in one spot and you can take out a massive, massive area. It doesn't need to be a direct hit. And that scares people. People my age, I mean, I had to do those drills when I was in school. When I was in elementary school, we were all taught to hide under the desk as if that would save you from a nuclear blast.
I know.
But you got to do these things. You got to be ready for these things. And I think that that's smart that they trained us to do that. There may be a little bit of lingering fear. I don't think the next war is going to be a conventional one by any means, but I think nuclear threats are still real. And I think that it's something that we should be afraid of. God, I hope nobody ever has the whatever to use them.
Yeah.
And if they do, may the response be quick and severe. But I'm still kind of afraid of those. But I'm more afraid of drones. It is absolutely nightmare on jet fuel material what I'm seeing over in Russia and in Ukraine, fighting these wars with drones. There's people just walking around in fields and they can see the drone coming and they know they're screwed and there's nowhere to run. These things will just blow up and take you out. It's crazy what's going on over there. That, I think, is a big threat, too. But yeah, the nukes are always going to be in the back of people's mind.
All right. Alyssa says, hey, Scott, I wanted to comment on the misophonia you mentioned, where my husband has it, and so do my 3 kids. So for my husband, it's anything to do with mouth noises, popping and chewing gum, eating, especially if you chew with your mouth open. You know, and he does not like hard gulp swallowing. He doesn't like the swallowing. Okay, but it doesn't stop with food. Needless to say, it makes any large gathering challenging for him. He'll start sweating and get so irrationally angry depending on the severity. It's definitely a real struggle as there's no real way to fix it, but he and the kids are actively working on it. Also, side note, Meghan Markle, thank you, her belly. They put the contraction and heart monitors around the belly with tape. That's why it looked weird. Love the pod and hearing you back on the radio doing what you love.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Melissa.
Is that confirmed that Meghan Markle had a whole bunch of stuff under her dress,
Nothing's
like heart monitors and
confirmed,
stuff?
But that's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying. Okay,
yeah.
Sure. I have no reason to think they're lying other than it looks completely laughable.
It just looked crunchy. And I thought the video was cute. Like, I love, have fun, do what you need to do. But the bump looked like a really a low budget bump.
Can you read me the first line of that again?
Yeah, I wanted to comment on the misophonia.
I can totally relate to what her husband goes through because I have the exact same thing. And you know what? I think there's a lot of guys who don't even know that they too have the same thing. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what it is. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, I told you yesterday, the sound of running water gets to me.
Yeah.
Clicking a pen nonstop, mouth noises, those things trigger me. Now, she went a step further and said she actually has to be careful. She knows her husband's trigger. One of them is ambient noise. So they have to be careful when they go out to big events and stuff like that. I'm the exact same way. The thing is, I'm a little more conscious of it now. I can actually realize when, I'm starting to get anxious. I'm starting to get agitated. I need to go outside and get some fresh air and some quiet. And I'll remove myself from that situation.
Wow, good for you.
But there's a lot of people who don't even realize they have that trigger. And yeah, just like she said there, her husband will just get into explosive anger for no apparent reason or as an overreaction to a small thing. Your husband's not doing anything wrong. He's just very agitated and can't really articulate why or even understand why. It's a real thing that I think a lot of people suffer from and they don't even know it. You should totally look into that. Was it misophonia? Is that how you say it?
I believe it. That's what it is.
We talked about it in the pod yesterday.
Here, I'm going to spell it out just in case you're listening. Misophonia. So write that down and then you can Google it. And I'm happy. Thank you to Alyssa and Scott both for talking so openly about this because it is something you don't really talk about. So here we have it. Mm-hmm. Can I move on to this next one? All right, we got one from Jana regarding dandelions, I believe. So the leaves can also be made into tinctures or tinctures, which are incredible to aid people with digestion issues. So the same can be done with the root, which should be harvested in the fall. Our gardens and lawns are full of medicine, but too many people have no idea.
I know what she's saying there. We can skip the rest of it.
Okay.
The dandelions, I'm on a mission to get rid of them. I hate them.
Yeah.
Many people do. That's why I highly recommend the Scott's Weed and Feed, the American one, not the Canadian one. The American one has the active ingredient that actually kills weeds. So what she's saying here is using those things on your lawns, not great. Because, well, I mean, hey, if you've got pets and things like that, they'll take steps through it. It ends up on their paws. They lick their paws and then they're inhaling a horrible thing. That hit home for me. I will certainly keep that in mind, but I'm not going to stop using it. I'm not going to I'm going to keep the dog off the lawn, but I'm not going to stop using it. Mm-hmm. And maybe everybody should do that. If you're going to use product like that on your lawn, don't let the dog walk across it.
Makes sense.
Full stop. It's not good for them. However, I don't like the dandelions, and I'm going to keep getting rid of them. I also don't think we're ever going to have a shortage of dandelions, but what she is suggesting here is that dandelions actually have an incredible amount of health benefits. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Everyone, if you're looking for a different health product, you can go to just about any natural store and get dandelion root. You can get all kinds of different dandelion products, and they do have a lot of health benefits. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to tell you what it's best for, because then I'll end up getting sued or something like that. Went down that road during COVID. So listen, all I can tell you is there are very much health benefits from dandelions. You should look into it, but that's all I'm going to leave it at is look into it. Do I need dandelions from my own lawn? No, those bastards are gone. They're gone, and I never want to see them again. However, like I said, there's no shortage of dandelions. We can still get them. The planet will never run low on them, and there are some great benefits from dandelions in natural medicine.
Okay, Jason says, hey, Anna said she will try anything once. Got me thinking, when you and Kat, we know Kat never had Taco Bell and won't try it, so I think we should ask Anna, has she had Taco Bell? And if not, will she be willing to try it? Also, question for you, Scott. Who got custody of the piano after leaving your old station?
So what he's saying is Kat never had Taco Bell, and she thought, if I haven't had it to this point in life, I shouldn't try it now. Is there anything you haven't had that you're holding out? I'm never going to try it.
No, I'm happy to try whatever I can try. I mean, it's all about exploration, right?
Absolutely. So you got an open mind to everything.
I do. Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to be too short on that other one or dismissive. I appreciate the note, but again, I have no interest in going back or looking back. I'm purely looking forward, and I don't want to talk anymore about old bits or old coworkers.
Okay, well, that's good news for me. All right, now on to Silent Date Guy. We got a lot. I'm excited for all the different theories here. So Karen, she DM'd and said, I'm so excited for your podcast, the one you made today, which accompanied the music. I listened to it on my way to work in the morning the next day, so it gives me an incentive to go to work in the morning, and I can't wait to find out about Silent Date Guy.
Love that.
All right, Mike. Scott, I think it's time you get into the Trump-Elon feud. It's very entertaining, which he did. By the way, I have to say your friend Silent Date Guy has been really intriguing. Good on him for finding a sugar mama. As always, take care of yourselves and have a good weekend.
Is it a sugar mama? Do you think she's a sugar mama?
Yeah,
you
get
do,
it.
Eh?
I mean, if this was the other way around, I'd be like, oh gosh, sugar daddy. Okay. We had a DM from Kim. Your silent date guy, he is such an F-boy to that woman. She is a boss B for sure. And if he's good with it, a fourth date and more if he wants to do so. He has to cut it off though. But for now, he should go get effed. And she might be leading up to a big doom. He might want to ask her though. And I agree with Anna, if it's a control thing and seeing how far she can push it. So keep the pods coming. So I guess from Kim, she says, cut it off, but enjoy the ride so far.
Wait a second. Cut it off, but enjoy the ride. I don't get what she's saying there.
Enjoy it
should
right
she
now?
keep dating? Or?
For us, yes. But for him, probably not. We want the stories, but he's not going to likely marry this woman, is what I'm gathering from Kim.
I don't know that he wants marriage. He went through that, and it was awful for him. He probably would like to have those years of his life back. I think he's having fun right now because this is different and very opposite his ex-wife. I'll tell you that.
Okay. Well, Adam, he says, okay, watches, costumes. There's no way Silent Date Guy is real. This is far too far-fetched to be real. This is a soap opera like a Spence Diamonds commercial. You're taking us through a Young and the Restless audiobook, right?
I'm telling you that it's not that unbelievable. As many DMs as we have here, it is remarkable how many people added on things about their own sex lives that make this look completely tame. You would not believe some of the stuff. If you think what Silent Date Guy is going through is shocking, you'd be blown away by the stuff that's happening probably with your neighbors, probably happening with your coworkers, probably happening with your boss, maybe even happening with your kids. It is shocking what's going on. Like real life porn happening in regular houses. What Silent Date Guy's going through, it's different for him, but I don't find it all that shocking. There's a lot of people that like to role play in the bedroom. That's not uncommon. They role play. There is a lot of people that'll dress up. There's a lot of people who like to do some of the I would do anything for love, but not do that kind of stuff. A lot of them.
Yes.
I mean, sure, she went for it on their second real date, but it doesn't mean it's weird. I don't think. I'm just happy he's finally getting to experience some of these things.
Yeah. Better late than never. Dave wrote, bro, stop calling her Silent Date Girl and call her Stifler's mom.
She
So
is
good.
like Stifler's mom.
She is. It's so good.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. We wanted that laugh. All right, Melissa, I think there should be only a fourth date if your friend is really okay with a sexual-only relationship. If he's down for that, all the power to them.
Is there anything wrong with that?
No.
He's almost 50 and he's divorced. If he gets into a relationship, which is mainly just sexual, that's really all they expect from each other. I don't find that that's necessarily a bad thing.
I think that's lovely.
If both people are okay with that, I don't know why that's a bad thing.
Listen, I'm going to say whatever. I've had those relationships. Sometimes you just need that companionship that provides a certain element, you know? And that's what I'm looking for in that time. If that's what they're looking for, like she said, power to you. Enjoy it. All right? Paul, did not see that twist coming. End it now, especially since he's looking to be with somebody from the sounds of things.
If I had to guess, I'd say he probably wouldn't mind having a girlfriend.
Oh.
But if this is what he's going to get, I think he's okay with it, to be honest with you. End it now? I mean, would you?
No.
This is a woman who not only pays for everything, she gives you gifts, and she's very sexually promiscuous.
Yeah.
Or is sexually open. What is the red flag here? I don't understand it.
I think it's because we're not used to women taking on such a bold role.
But how wrong is that?
It's not wrong. It's just different.
If a guy had said, hey, got a hotel this weekend, come with me, and paid for dinner and gave her a nice gift and gave her $100 to pay for parking, nobody would be saying red flag. They'd probably be saying, what a gentleman. Why is it different when it's a woman doing it? I don't understand that.
I guess it's, those old gender roles where it's usually the man taking care of the woman. But, times are different now. And I commend her for taking charge and knowing what she wants. It's just different.
I love the boss attitude around this woman. I think it's great.
All right.
I really think this is good.
Well, Aaron, couple things about this latest episode. I think Buddy should just ride it out. Enjoy his time. Don't put too much thought into it and see where it goes. Also, as far as gift goes, maybe he should take some Chip and Dale or Thunder from Down Under lessons. And a suggestion for you for your accompanied songs, Closer by 9 Inch Nails.
Okay.
Okay. You're a musical genius. Those songs are just epic. Well said.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank you.
Okay, Andres says, good morning, Scott. Blind date guy. From most guys, I don't see how he is losing. I don't see red flags. I'm seeing all green. Then he lists things out from 1 to 8. She gave him sex. She buys him gifts. She dresses up for him. She didn't expect continuous messaging because they had sex. It's all good with the baby daddy. She has her own money. She sounds very mature. And back to point 4, she's not clingy. All green flags in capitals. It almost sounds too good to be true, but you know what? Blind date guy, all systems go, giver. Can't wait for the music montage for your next story.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of see it that way too. I don't see red flags. I don't necessarily see green flags, but I don't necessarily see red flags either here. I mean, it seems like this is just how can I put it? I don't know. If they're using each other, then so be it.
Yeah.
They both know what they're getting into.
I'm liking her more and more. The red flags to me was just that all these things started happening so early on that I wasn't expecting. The meeting of the kid, the ex-husband, and all of this stuff. But if everybody's okay with it, who am I to judge? Alex, so I was thinking of hot wife situation. is what your friend got into, which if you don't know what that means is when a married woman who has sexual relationships outside her marriage with full knowledge and consent of her husband who himself does not have affairs. If he's into this, but couples who live that lifestyle usually inform the third party of it to make sure that they're fully consenting. So I don't think that that's the case for your friend, Scott.
So he doesn't think that my friend is being hot-wifed?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's like, whatever it is, I'm glad your friend is enjoying the situation he's in. I also don't think that they'd love the child if that, I don't think they'd involve the child if that was the case. So if they were actually into this hot wife, he wouldn't have met the kid.
Okay.
That's what Alex is saying.
I'd never even heard of hot wifing until this came up.
Too.
So that's very good perspective. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So Anonymous, they say she isn't hot wifing. I can 100% say that because hot wifey is 100% sexual relationship, and she would never bring her kid around that.
Okay.
See, I know many people that do that, and their kids would never be involved with meeting the other guy.
He knows lots of people that are hot wifing?
Oh, yeah. Anonymous does, yeah. So they say, by the way, hot wifing and other lifestyle bedroom kinks are more popular than you think. To your point that you said earlier.
I believe that. I really do. I mean, anytime I get into a conversation with somebody and they tell me about stuff like that, I'm shocked, but then I'm not shocked. You don't know what's going on behind your neighbor's closed doors. You don't know what's going on with your coworkers. Some people are into some stuff that you might think is completely weird and they think it's completely normal. And as far as I'm concerned, as long as both or all three or four, or however you're doing it, as long as everybody consents and understands what's going on, I'm good with it. Have a good time.
All right, Alan. Morning, Scott. I think Silent Date Girl works all week doing OnlyFans and then only hangs out with Silent Date Guy on the weekend. That would explain her being busy during the week and having lots of money for the weekend.
How much time does OnlyFans take up? Is that a full-time job?
Yeah, but I don't think it's that time consuming. You make content maybe for the day or a whole, I don't know.
Can you just bang it out before noon kind of deal? Or?
Maybe you can bang it out. Maybe you sit on a cake and people just tune in for that. You never know.
I don't know that she's an OnlyFans
It's different.
content creator, but interesting theory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alan loves listening to the show. So there you have it. Okay, next one from Anonymous. Just heard the podcast about date 3. Your friend is basically a male version of Anastasia in 50 Shades. Wouldn't be surprised if the next date they go on a helicopter ride and he finds out her name is Christine Gray. Oh, so good. But from my perspective, he's the man getting it on. Let him enjoy it while it lasts. Okay. That's a good one. See, that's where these books, like these things are happening if these books are being made in movies. All right. Finally, this is the end one for today. Amanda. Okay, Scott. So first off, like Anna, I'm so damn invested in the Silent Date Guy. This whole thing blows me away. I do agree that he seems to be an F-boy for her, but I'm also like, she bought him a $700 watch. Is this something she does for all her F guys? It's one thing to wine and dine and pay the tab for the stuff, but she's bought him a watch, and that's what's throwing me off. I have to disagree with Anna on the fact that maybe she will change her mind about no relationship. I think it's too soon to tell. She seems to be going to extremes for someone she just wants to sleep with. Anyways, I think he's going and see where it happens and see where it lands. So keep going. All right.
Okay, I could see that. It's I mean,
I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but
that's your guess. It's not going anywhere.
I think it's going to continue to go this way, but I don't think it's going to, go the other way. The blind date, hoping for a potential girlfriend.
You don't think that if he said, "I would like you to be my girlfriend. Let's be in a committed relationship," you don't think that that's going to happen?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Okay.
I think she'd be more open to be like, hey, I won't sleep with anybody else, but I definitely will spend time with other people. Maybe that's, the agreement they'll come to will land on, but I don't think they're going to fall in love, get married. And
Interesting
if they do,
theory.
I'd love to be the flower girl.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for the DMs. I always appreciate hearing from you, and I love your perspective on the pod. Agree or disagree with me, I still appreciate you listening, and thank you for doing that. Have a great weekend. A new episode is coming your way on Monday. In the meantime, if you did not hear Wednesday's episode, that was where I told the story of their weekend date in Niagara-on-the-Lake.
You need to go. I'm telling you, if you got half an hour, listen to it, enjoy it, have a laugh, and have a smoke.
I'm out of here. I'm going up to the Canadian Open.
Yay, have so much fun.
I'm excited. I will catch you right back here with Anna on Monday. In the meantime, I will leave you with the sounds of Pat James and the whole truth. Hey now, sing it, Pat, and have a great weekend. Oh.